station where the IGA station, their store is. This is where the first 4th of July celebration was. How many people know Teddy Moore? Does that ring a bell? If you go into the museum, you'll learn a lot about Teddy Moore. He's the inventor of the traffic light. His place was right there on that corner, and that's where he invented it, right there. Now, as we drive on a little further here, bear with us, guys, because she never stopped here this last one. She just went right on through 100 miles an hour. Let's see what she does this time. She's doing good. This is not on my script, but I'm going to add to it. Back when I was a little boy, this used to be called Marshall Glenn Clay's house. Marshall Glenn Clay. As a little boy, I came here a lot. My dad was a mayor. He was a marshal. That's where he lived. He wore a white shirt, black pants, had a little gun on him, and a handcuff. That's all he had. That's right. That's right. I can tell you some stories of the 4th of July or at the Halloween. But what I'm trying to tell you a little bit about this, there used to be a railroad station there. And several guys, one of them was like my father, Jack Lemon, and I can't name all of them, but I was a little younger. They had an idea of moving that train station from there to this current location that NASCAR Kathy is taking us to. That's where the train station is nowadays. But talk about Marshall Glenn Clay. We had a great time. My dad and him came up with a rule at the Halloween that you could go out and anything was laying around on people's front porch, you could take it downtown to my dad's property and then leave it there. And that was Halloween. But then the next day, you had to either bring it back or you had to go pick it up. But that was what Ashville used to be back in the old days. You could take stuff, but we couldn't. It wasn't stealing. We just took it for a good time and dropped it off downtown. No vandalism. There was no vandalism going on. Right here is where the railroad station is as of today. Now, if you go inside there, now, you want to stop here or not? You might have to walk back. What do you think, Mike? Is there another trolley following us or not?
No, she's in front of us. No, we're last.
Oh, we're last. So don't get off. But here, they've actually got, we had wood-burning stove, potbelly stove still in there. You actually could go in there at one time and crank the phone and talk to the museum. But that's been discontinued. We used to have a nice caboose there, but the caboose is gone. But a lot of hard work has been going on in here to Ashville. Now right up here is what we young people call the power company. Back in the old days they called it the Scioto Valley Traction Company. It actually supplied voltage between Chillicothe and Columbus. We actually had voltage coming out of that building right there, high voltage. Straight ahead, that's where the Sohia gas station used to be. Ashland gas station is right here. Asheville swimming pool was right behind Napa. And right down there was Morrison's Market, my dad's grocery store. It was right down there for many years.
Okay.
So, now this big brick building you see on your right, does anybody know what that is?
No.
We call that the old Asheville Canning Factory, but the real name is Scioto Canning Company. That's where they canned. If you go to the grocery store now and you get cans of green beans and corn, they canned them right here in Asheville. Every once in a while, if you chew tobacco, they spit the tobacco right in there too. That's the stories I heard. Granaries on the left and on the right, they used to be the same until we had a big fire and it blew the top off. Now, real quick, does anybody know, I heard one lady behind me already say it, does anybody know who worked back at the canning factory? Roy Rogers. Roy Rogers, he'd ride his horse into town here, but he actually got fired. A guy by the name of Michael Moore worked there and he fired him for singing.
That's why they got fired, because they started playing. I heard he started playing and everybody quit working.
Yeah, quit working. He played the guitar and everything. So they had to fire him. So he got on his horse and rode away. Now, as NASCAR Kathy turns here, I'm going to be talking pretty quick about a couple of things. You've got the savings bank here. This used to be called the Ashville Bank. Back in 1906, in the north room of the Squires building, that's where it was, and they moved to the present location here, which is now the Savings Bank. Right next to it was Brinker's Confectionery. He had a little confectionery store there for 56 years. But now it's going to be called the Ashbrook Grill. New owner just took over, going to be opening that. Over to the left is the oldest building in Ashville. Right here, Mills Photography. If you notice, the steel beams are in the front of that building. They actually brought those in on the railroad. They actually shipped them from Indiana. So that was come from Indiana. That's the library where Mrs. Claus is or was. Right here is the Ashville High School. It was a 7-room, 2-story, and a basement building built in 1902 to replace an old 4-room school building. It was used until 1928, and then they got a new one over on the east side of town. It once had an Asheville newspaper as well in there. First English Lutheran church is to our right, built in 1887. Still there, 1887. Right up here on the left is the Zion United Methodist Church, United Brethren. It was actually built in 1840. It was reconstructed in 1915, and that's what it looks like today. Notice the stained glass windows, the original windows that was in this building.
The colored glass.
Still have church services there. Now as NASCAR Kathy comes up here, she's going to make a left-hand turn and she's going to head towards the Ashville jail. And remember I talked about Marshal Glenn Clay. This was his office. This was my dad's mayor's office. And this is where they lock people up for 2 or 3 hours. If you didn't do something right, they'd lock you up. This used to be the fire department. Now the fire department has moved out and went up on 752. But folks, I don't think we're going to drop you off, are we, Kathy?
That's up to them.
Unless you want to walk back to the museum, but
It's just a block.
it's just a block. But if you've never been into the jail, you need to go see that. They actually have the old keys to unlock it. They got 2 jail cells. Actually, you ought to see the...
Hey, let me off.
And the marshal's son is still in there. So if you want to go in and talk to him, his name's Steve Clay.
Thank you.
If you want to get out, get in there.